Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrestling Connection podcast. My name is Glenn. I am joined by my good personal friend, Chris. And today, ladies and jelly spoons, we are feeling festive. That's right, everyone. This is our Christmas special. And Chris, a Merry Christmas to you. The date is December the 23rd? 22nd?
20th.
What is this?
20th.
The 20th.
Yes.
20th. Oh, God, I've eaten too many chocolates in my advent calendar if that's the case. But Chris, I don't know about you, but after a long and hard week and after a long and hard term, after a long and hard December, after a long and hard 2020, there was a lot of Michael Scott, that's what she said moments in that dialogue there. I am finally ready to feel festive. How are you, my good friend?
I am also feeling festive. I'm not going to mention long and hard as much as you did. However, I'm sitting here with my Christmas jumper on. I am sitting here ready to feel festive, to ask you a bunch of Christmas-related questions. And this, ladies and gents, is the Christmas special. And every time I've got like a favourite TV show or a favourite podcast or a favourite series of some sort, I always love the Christmas specials. So I hope that all the listeners, and more importantly, Glenn and I, enjoy our Christmas special right here on the Wrestling Connection. And by the way, this is episode 36, which means it's the last show that we can talk about a WrestleMania that has the same number as us.
Wow, and it kind of feels poetic because we started all of this when the first thing that we spoke about, I think, on the first episode was, or maybe the pilot, I don't even remember, but was how did you find WrestleMania 36 and how long ago does that feel?
It feels like a long time ago. And I know the fact that, it was a long time ago. It was about 9 months or something, right? But it's just mental to think that, like, the next WrestleMania is coming up relatively soon. And the first thing we spoke about on this podcast, which is, I mean, it's been going on for 36 weeks, but it seemed as if this has been a constant in our lives for ages now. It's just weird to think that now we're going to be talking about another or the build-up to another WrestleMania at least very, very soon.
It's crazy. And I am hopeful that, you know, with the world opening up and with this vaccine, that if maybe they could, I think we'll be lucky if WrestleMania 37 can have an AEW style level of fan attendance, you know, totally segregated, totally like, separate for households is what I mean. Distanced, but a buzz, an atmosphere, because that's what a WWE program needs. The programming that I enjoy the most in terms of atmosphere is anything that they do in the Capitol Wrestling Center. But that said, I'm not hugely into my NXT right now, but I think that's what they need, is that hybrid of Thunderdome and fan attendance. But you know, I do hope, Chris, that when our listeners are listening to us chat this, that there's some sort of festive jingling happening in the background. Like, it doesn't need to be a copyrighted song, but something jingly. Do we have a stock jingle song that we can put on?
No, but but I could maybe find on YouTube like that kind of, what's that, like kind of jingle bells kind of, like, not the song, but like, what do you call that? It's like a sort of sound effect you always hear at like the start of songs and that sort of thing. It's like
that's literally a jingle bell.
Literally jingle bells. Okay, maybe we'll have some jingle bells on the background when we're opening our presents.
I should have brought my bells with me. I don't have anything festive on me.
Shall we tell the folks what we're going to do here and what we did last night?
Yes, because I'm so excited, and you must elaborate because that sounds a bit risque, my good friend.
Last Friday night. So, ladies and gents, Glenn and I have been communicating every single week here on the Wrestling Connection via, a digital, basis. We have been touching base with each other every week via audio only. At the start, we were doing some FaceTime chats and stuff like that to get the details ironed out. And before all this happened, where we couldn't see each other in person, we were sitting together in the Pavilion Theatre in Glasgow, watching a wrestling show in a theatre, which was like my worlds colliding, by the way, which was weird. And I think I said that to you on that day. I was walking through a theatre and I was like, there's a stage and everything, but there's a wrestling thing on the stage. It was crazy. And we watched the wrestling show in a theatre. Now, that was like March 13th, March 14th, something like that. And then the world went into lockdown on like March 17th. So it's crazy to think that we were so close and we were sitting in a theatre of 2,000 people, right at the verge of a virus going around. And we were so lucky that we were okay. At least we think we were okay. And that was the day we decided we're going to do this podcast. It's going to be every week. And we hope, obviously, the world is uncertain right now, but we didn't really think to the extent that, it would be. We thought maybe we would maybe need to start a few digitally and then eventually we'd get in person. But the fact we've done this every week remotely has been crazy and a testament to how much we enjoy the show, really. So that was just this big extravagant thing, and I haven't seen Glenn in the flesh since that day. So I had this idea a couple of weeks ago where we would do this Christmas special, and Glenn had the idea for the Christmas special, but I said, why don't we get each other a gift, but we should do it like a Christmas kind of box, Christmas hamper sort of thing, that we can throw in some funny gifts that maybe relate to our personalities and our wrestling tastes, and we'll open them on the show on the Christmas special. So there was loads of things that went into it, like how we're going to get it to each other, what we're going to buy, what the budget's going to be, and that sort of thing. Ultimately, after a few shipping problems and that sort of thing, everything was sorted. At the last minute yesterday, I was getting ready to phone the company and be like, I'm need to do this Christmas special, and I'm going to need to wait to do it on the 19th. But luckily, it came in nice and early, and even though it's just didn't update its status. And
thank God. I mean, I know the demand is high for Ahmed Johnson jock straps, so...
How did you know? I told you not to look in the box.
Oh, damn it.
Ahmed Johnson, though. Oh, dear. Puppy dog. I remember that was one of my favourite moments in the wrestling connection.
By the way, did you hear on Inside the Ropes? They've got a new podcast called Inside the Game, and it's really good. It's Joe Hendry and someone else talking about video games. And the first episode they do SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, and Joe Hendry is waxing lyrical about those Ahmed Johnson promos, and the conversation is almost identical to the one that we had months ago. And he's like, I'm going to play you one now, and they play that same puppy dog one. It's incredible. You need to listen to it. Everyone go and listen to Inside the Ropes as if you don't already.
I know. We did, I think that was our video games episode, which I think was episode 6, where we did our Ahmed Johnson impressions and that sort of thing. I loved that one. I'm going to ask you about that later on the show, by the way, so remind me to come back to you. Right. So after we got all of our presents sorted and we're ready to go, this is a very long explanation for what we're going to talk about, but it's fine. We decided that we're going to hand deliver, like Santa Claus, we're going to hand deliver the gifts, and socially distanced, of course. So I went to Glenn's front door last night. I chapped his door. I stepped back, and he answered the door. He couldn't get the door open at first, but he answered the door.
This is all on camera.
I know this is all on camera. I might post it. And he was wearing this very festive kind of blazer that he wore to his work. And we exchanged gifts. We exchanged gifts in person. We were standing next to each other for the first time in 9 months. It was a delight to see you and lovely Kate. And it was lovely to see your Christmas lights and your nice new house and Luna, of course. But it was just weird seeing you in person. I don't know what you felt about that.
It was weird when there's a moment I just stopped to look at you, and I realized that I remember that you're not an animated avatar on my podcast app, But it was lovely. But it's also weird because I don't know about you, man, but I'm very much one for like the bro hug and the high five.
Absolutely, I'm a hugger. I'm absolutely a hugger.
And so my instinct is still to do that even this far into 2020, but of course we can't. And also because it was cold and late, and pardon me, and so there was no possibility of you coming in for a cup of tea or anything, you know what I mean? So all these things that you instinctively want to do, like saying come in, and so it's just it was a bit mad. And I just think about the fact that your dad and your sister were parked out the front, and I probably haven't seen your sister in 2 or 3 years maybe, and and in a normal year you would be like, tell them to come in, have a cup of tea, and then away come, and all these things just can't happen. Luna was very suspicious of you.
I know. I know Luna from Instagram mainly, and I was expecting this big embrace. And I mean, I'm not much of a dog person anyway, but I can trust Luna, and she doesn't trust me clearly.
I mean, I'm going to change her name to Grogu since her most recent haircut has made her look like Yoda. I'm such an emotional and a sentimental person, and as I've said to you elsewhere, like this has been a huge highlight of my 2020 doing this, and so to finally see you again in the flesh was lovely. I just wish it could have been more, but
like a proper night,
Yeah, we got to take the picture, which is cool. So there's a picture that'll go up in the socials, folks.
I'm probably going to post that before this episode, being like, "Oh, we've done a thing."
Yeah, we've done a thing. Yeah, that'll be our teaser, folks. So you've seen it by now, I hope, and we'll earned our 4 likes on that picture. Yeah. So, it was lovely to see, and it's fleeting, but it was also then excruciating because I had to say to Kate, like, I can't be trusted not to peek at this damn box, so you're gonna have to go and put it up in the Glendon, and which she did. And the Glendon was very cold, so there was no chance of me going up there last night. Where I'm sitting now, the box is next to me, just on the floor, waiting to be opened and waiting to be loved.
Yeah, so we should also make that clear that we have no idea what we've got in each other. And by the way, can I just apologise for the idea? I mean, the Christmas hamper idea is cool because it's like the first time we're doing it and that sort of thing. See, in future, let's just get each other a gift.
Yeah, fine, but the hamper is fun.
Yeah,
right. But yeah, we can just do a gifts in the future. What episode number will we be on next Christmas? That's fun to think. Like, if you think about it, I know we've got we'll probably do more reflection next week with our pre-New Year's one, right? But I just think it's one thing to say that we're proud of the fact that we started a podcast and that we kept up at it. But think of what else has happened with the podcast. Like, we've invested time and invested resources to try and get eyes on it. We've had those fun cameos involved, which have been really, really fun.
Even though we didn't get the Undertaker to do it.
We didn't get the Undertaker.
Elite Wrestling Connection.
And also, like, don't forget that Paul Heyman listened to our podcast.
That's right.
And then tweeted about it. Like, that was mental.
Even Kenny McIntosh listening was a big deal,
Yeah, that blew me away because he's kind of like, for me, like the Scottish podfather when it comes to wrestling podcasts. And he's not just like the Scottish wrestling guy anymore. He's like a wrestling guy in the mainstream. Like, he's one of the, I would say, in the world, one of the most highly respected wrestling journalists now, if you think about it. All the other ones are working with him on that new magazine. So so that was really cool. And Kenny McIntosh offered to come on our podcast, so I'm hopeful in 2021 we can make that a reality.
I can't believe we patched him. You know what I mean? I think obviously we've been busy,
But around the time I was moving house, and so there just wasn't a good time. Listen, there's a great chance that in 2021 I will slide into the Inside the Ropes DMs and beg and plead them to give us a bit of Kenny McIntosh's time. I hope so, because he's such an interesting guy, and like, I would like to have him on and talk to Kenny McIntosh, like the person, and
absolutely
have get his wrestling story, and that's what I'd like to have.
Yeah, if Kenny comes on the show, yeah, totally. If Kenny comes on the show, we're doing the segments with him. We're doing Meet a Wrestler. I'm sure he's got more than us, but we're doing Meet a Wrestler.
What do you think?
We're doing what he's thankful for, what's his favourite matches that he could recommend, random wrestler with him, all that stuff. We need to do that. Even though he'll be like, let's do an interview for like half an hour, and we're going to have him here for the whole episode, but it'll be fine. Anyway, yeah. So let's dig in. Let's dig into these beautiful boxes.
We do the boxes right. So you'll need to excuse me for a second. I'm not asking for a toilet break. However, so how we're going to video this, folks, so that you can see what happens as we unwrap. And I turned the lights off in the Glendon because the sun was beaming in through it, and it was bright enough. But now the sun's buggered off, so I'm going to have to get out of my seat and go and turn the light back on, and then I can get my camera on and ready for this. So, Chris, could you just entertain everybody for about 9 seconds?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Glenn, entertain is what I do.
Yeah. Okay. Can't hear you.
And as Mark Henry would say, circa 2011, that's what I do. So, when Glenn asked me to entertain, I say, in all respect to Mark Henry, that's what I do.
There was a pay-per-view. I'm back. Shush. There was a pay-per-view in 2000, I think, where I think like JR gets his headset knocked off by someone. I think it's SummerSlam or King of the Ring, maybe. And Lawler legit has to carry the commentary for about 5 minutes on its own. And so he's trying to do this awkward hybrid of play-by-play and color commentary. And JR finally gets reconnected and goes, "You didn't screw it up too much, did you?"
I'll always like when that happens, when like the other person has to kind of carry the ship. I saw a clip on Twitter recently of that Jerry the King Lawler and the Miz TLC match from 2010 or whatever.
I love that match. I really love that match.
And CM Punk is on commentary. And Michael Cole is being like the heel Michael Cole when he's trying to stop Jerry Lawler. So Punk is the only one at the desk. And Punk is like, Jerry Lawler now climbing the ladder. And it's like CM Punk just doing play-by-play. Like, it's crazy.
He was a very, very good commentator.
He was a
very underrated.
Very good commentator. He obviously did all those ROH commentary, events or matches and stuff. So I guess he had experience with that. And then I wish he'd done it more, but I know he didn't like the fact they had to be on TV and all that stuff. But let's not get into it. It's fine. Before we do this, by the way, also last night, so as I said, that my dad dropped me off outside your house and then I walked and delivered the gift. Whilst I was at your door, apparently there was this, I'm assuming, elderly lady who was wearing a fur coat.
Oh.
I'm interested by your response there because I thought maybe you'd know who she was.
Well, there's a couple of nice old ladies in the neighbourhood.
I don't know if she was elderly, but she may have been in her maybe 60s. I don't know. So I get back to the car. And my sister's like, "Get in the car, hurry up now!" And I was, "Oh God, okay." So apparently, whilst I was at your house, standing outside the front door talking to Luna, this lady just walks up to the car and just sticks her head in the window as if she's looking in the car. So my dad rolls down the window and he's like, "Can I?" Yeah. And this lady apparently just said, "Can I help you?" And my dad's like, "No, I'm just waiting to pick up my son." And she goes, "Okay," and just walks off.
And she's wearing a fur coat, right? I'm gonna have to look out for this woman.
Wow! I was like, "What? I can't believe I missed that." I said, "I'm not coming to Bears Den anytime soon. Might lose my life."
I don't think anyone has ever said Bears Den and lose my life in the same sentence before. I mean, they do say Bears Den's where people go to die, but that's after retiring. So
Cruella de Vil, I think so. Like that kind of evil old lady. She was like, "Can I help you?"
I mean, most old ladies in Bears Den, they talk like that. Oh my goodness, is this child absolutely non-verbal? Like that.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we dig into these now?
Right, so I'm gonna hit film on my mobile telephone. Okay.
Okay, I am also recording now.
No, yeah.
So for YouTube, I have to do a wee introduction. So bear with us, podcast listeners.
Okay, I'll bear with you.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Hello, everybody. We are here on the YouTube channel. I don't know if this is going to be on the Wrestling Connection YouTube channel or just CM42 TV, probably both if I'm honest. And we are currently recording the Christmas special of the Wrestling Connection. I've got my Christmas jumper on, as you can see. And I have Glenn here who is also filming, I hope everything's going to go swimmingly in the post-production process of this. But we are about to unbox our Christmas gifts that we have gotten each other for the first time in our lives and our friendship here on the Christmas special. So if you'd like to hear the whole episode, please do so on all of your favourite podcasting outlets. But I have this Amazon box here. Now, Glenn says he feels bad the fact that he gave me a normal box and I did a nice fancy festive box for him. But I have to stress, I phoned him at 5 o'clock and was like, "I'm coming over tonight, have a box or don't." So I kind of put him under pressure there.
I'm going to just want to show the camera what we're talking about here. So Chris, you've no doubt shown or going to show the monstrosity that I handed to you, and Chris has given me this is a beautiful, gorgeous, purpose-built Christmas Eve box. Yep. So the fact that we're 4 days removed from Christmas Eve, this screams thoughtfulness, and mine screams crap last minute. But I did take the time in biro pen to write, "Chris, it is Christmas. Enjoy."
I can get that on the camera. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
I'm proud of that.
It's here. It says there. You can't really see it because the way the camera's set up. But yeah. So how do you want to do this? I'm thinking to avoid the awkwardness of going back and forth, I'll just open this all in one and then you do mine all in one.
Okay. Do you get giddy with gifts and awkward when someone is opening one in front of you, even though you're not in front of me, but you kind of are?
Yeah. I just get awkward opening gifts in general, really. I just think it's really awkward anyway.
Okay.
Will I go first then?
Yeah, you go first because you're the youngest, so you've got the closest link to the your innocent childhood of Christmas.
Is there any rules you have for me?
Just open it with an open mind and be. I hope you like it.
Okay, I'll reach in. Here first.
Go for the card first, by the way.
Okay. Where's the card? I don't really want to look at it. Okay, I've got a card. Okay. He's got CM42 TV on the card, which is thoughtful.
I tried to make it like in your old YouTube videos, with the mystery.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've got your card as well, so you need to open my card first too. Yeah, sure. My god! my card isn't anywhere near as good as this one. We have a Chris Jericho card here.
Do you notice that I've fixed the punctuation on the front of it?
What a very English teacher thing to do. Yep. He's fixed the apostrophe S for let's. Also, last night in the tweet, I spelled the word pajama wrong. I didn't realise. I didn't want to
say anything. Didn't want to say anything, but you did.
I fixed it. Oh my god! There's a book. Okay, so it says. I'll show you the inside here. I love the card, by the way. A little bit of the bubbly. Very nice. Okay, it says, to my dear friend Chris, what a year. Whereas it's undeniable that 2020 has been a year as difficult as the 1999 Kennel of Hell matches to watch. There is one obvious highlight to me. I genuinely feel I would feel that little bit more lost in the show of 2020, were if not for our wee podcast. So, good sir, thank you for the wrestling connection, thank you for your kindness, and thank you for being the amazing friend you are. Here's to a better 2021 and many happy wrestling memories in the future. Oh, isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely, everybody? To Chris and all the Moffats, Merry Christmas and all the best for 2021. All the love for Glenn, Kate, and Luna. I forgot to put Luna's name on the card. I feel bad.
Oh, this is why she doesn't like you. She knew. She knew. You know that way they say that dogs and cats can see ghosts? That's what that was. That was her sixth sense kicking in.
We have already beat me in the card because I've just got a Christmas card and went, Happy Christmas.
That's fine.
Right,
that's
so
fine.
The first thing I've taken out here is like a sort of envelope sort of thing.
All right, go for it.
Okay. So in here is an issue of Power Slam. Has Raven on the cover. Has Raven on issue 77.
I believe that's from 20 years ago, my friend.
From 20 years ago, what, this month?
I don't know this month, but it's from 2000.
Oh, wow. And then you get a picture.
Before he signed with WWF, I think.
Oh, very cool. I'm loving this. And it is back in the day where magazines were £2.30.
I know. The price really gave me a tickle.
Check the China Fitness VHS in the back. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I love that Austin six-pack thing. Okay. I used to love in Power Slam too. They always had like a picture in the inside covers.
Yeah, there's a good one in that. Listen, I just thought you would appreciate the charm of it, I guess. And I know Raven's one of your boys, so that was the one I went for.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much, my friend. That's lovely. I have a magazine collection, so that'll go very nicely with the other Power Slams.
Yeah.
And Raven is one of my boys, so thank you very much for that. All right. Reaching in. Oh dear. Oh dear. Speaking of my boys, it's the one and only. It's Maven.
Yeah, so this was the closest as you know, there was all kinds of Maven merch that I was looking at to get. And there's actually not a lot of Maven merch out there anymore. It's mainly the action figures and it's the that trading card that I was trying to get you, which I couldn't get in the end. I was gutted about that. But this is the next best thing. It's relatively mint. It came bashed up, I'm afraid.
No.
And I'm sure you probably had it in your old collection, but this one's fresh.
Yeah, this one's staying in the box probably. I love the old Ruthless Aggression series. This is series 6. And do you know what I love as well about these old figures? Is like when you see the other ones that were available on the back of the box. It was like one of my favourite things to do and like go and look at all the different ones that were available on the back. But I love Maven. We have his friend Raven together.
Raven and Raven.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for Maven.
Hope you like it.
Okay. Whoa. Oh my god, it's an ECW PS1 game. This is ECW Anarchy Roads. Oh my god.
So I'm hoping this is the one that you don't have. If you do have this one. Sorry?
I don't have this one, not at all.
Okay, because there was 2. This one should work on your console, right? And see if it doesn't, you need to let me know because Jamie can fix it, all right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, okay, great. Because I think I was ordering the other one. I think it was like Hardcore Revolution. I think that's the one I got. Yeah, hardcore, and it didn't work on the thing. Because I think I might have like a different PS2 or something. But if Jamie knows how to fix it, then great. But this is the second one, I think, the second ECW game.
That's right, yeah.
2000. Look at that throwback snack right there. I love the old like PS1 cartridges as well. Like
Yeah,
cartridges,
I
like the
mean,
packaging, like the kind of old kind of style. I'm
yeah, I
loving
love
this.
it.
Is a very like nostalgia based box, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do we have here? OMG! This isn't an Undertaker Christmas jumper, is it?
It is.
Holy moly! Hang on a minute. This is probably great audio, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a bonfire I'm listening to.
You know, I was so close to ordering an AEW Christmas jumper, right? Because they had like a sale
Really?
on. But when I was looking at them, they're not like wool, like what a Christmas
Oh,
jumper should be. It was like just like a sweatshirt, like cotton. And I was like,
yeah,
what's the point? This one is a proper Christmas jumper. OMG, look at this.
yeah. And considering I've seen the picture that you sent me of what you're wearing right now, I think that'll look better on you. Now, I got you a large because you're tall, like me. Don't.
Oh, thank you so much. That's like a proper gift, like a proper like thing that's an investment for years to come.
Which you can wear once a year for the next however long.
That's unbelievable
So,
because I'm so needing a new this Christmas jumper I wear now. It's got a penguin on it, and I've had it since
mm.
2014. I wore it when I hosted Bishop Briggs Got Talent in 2014.
Who could forget? We all remember it, don't we, dear listener?
I love it so much, and this would be like the one if I was to go into the Christmas jumper wrestling shop, this would be the one I would pick. I love
Hope
the
you like
colours,
it.
I love the purple, and of course it's Taker.
I think that's your whack, by the way. Hope you like it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you very much, my dear friend. This is well too much. Probably cost you a fortune for the Christmas jumper alone. So thank you very much for that.
It was all within budget, my dear friend. All within
Okay,
budget.
as long as it's within budget. Oh wow, that's amazing.
Awesome.
And I love the card too. So I feel bad now because my card is so generic.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I think you more than compensate in this lush box. Right? Is it my turn?
It's your turn, right? So what I need you to do here, right?
Right.
I need you to be careful because
Okay.
I've not put in like loads of paper and stuff to hide things. So what I want you to do is open the box without really looking. Like if you can maybe like just open it a
Yeah.
wee bit and put your
Well-
hand in, feel around, and feel for the card first.
That'll be easy for me, and I'll tell you for why. Because we're now filming as well. I don't like how I look with my glasses, and I'm annoyed that the picture we took last night, I was wearing my glasses, so my glasses are off, which also means I'm really quite blind.
Okay.
So this will be a case of feeling it out. So I'm going to kind of open the box. Oh, I'm so excited! Right, this is the sound of the box opening. Video people, you can see this happening.
Yeah,
but I'm
try your best not to look too, because like especially the bottom two items aren't hidden at all.
Right, okay, so I'm definitely, the video will prove that I'm not looking right now, but I've got what is definitely a card. Okay. It says the Glenden on it. Oh,
As if I was going to post it, I had to put the address on it.
yes, to the Glenden. So that really, this isn't my card; it's the room's card.
It's
It's
for the
a
room.
gorgeous card. It says "Wishing you a Merry Christmas," and it has a lovely, beautiful, natural scene with everything that you expect to be on a tree. Squirrels, robins, woodland creatures, and a single lone stocking. It's gorgeous. It's like a John Clare poem. It's beautiful.
Very nice.
To Glenn and Kate, lots of love from Chris. And
I didn't write the beautiful story that you did, but
well, I'm one for like a brain fart on a card, and that's just my thing. So we all have different things. So I will put this pride of place over here, and like I'm sure Luna will forgive you in time for not putting her name on the card.
thanks for the
Okay.
name. Right, so I need you to reach
Okay,
in,
so-
and the first item is in bubble wrap. So feel for some bubble wrap.
Right, okay, I've got that. So again, the camera will show that I'm not looking right now. I've just got it in my hands. Oh, it's green bubble wrap.
It is
It
a wee
looks like-
present for the Glenden.
Oh my god, it's Sky Too High! Yes! Banging it.
Scotty
Oh,
to sit on your desk and help you through the days when you're marking essays and stuff like that in the Glenden.
I love how we got each other our boys in action figure form. That's beautiful. Oh, I don't know if to make him stand up or make him do the worm permanently. Like,
I think he's
doing
in
it
good
for
enough
camera
condition
right
because the
he's
picture
in
I saw
great
in
nick.
the arms were like in the air, and I thought maybe the arms would be loose, but I think he's okay.
Nice, and his articulation, like the joints are quite stiff still, which is what you want in an action figure. Like if they're second hand, they run the risk of being
Yeah.
really loose, which means they're near snapping. Scotty, you are indeed too hotty, and you're gonna go right here in the Glenden. Let's just stick
Turn
you
it
here.
up.
Turn it up, bang it, bang. Why is that Rikishi's theme now? That is not Rikishi's theme.
Do you know what? It
That
bugs me when
is-
Rikishi comes out and it doesn't use the song.
And they did it at Survivor Series as well. It really bugs me.
Right, okay.
Again,
so
the camera will show that I'm not looking, so you can guide me here, Chris.
So the next thing is wrapped in kind of like tissue paper. So if you can take that out, please.
Okay, I've got something. Chris, we have done a lot of similar shit here. Yeah. Oh my God. WWF magazine from February 1991. And it's got the Warrior on it, which is so apropos because that was my entryway into wrestling, was that Warrior video.
So this is WWF magazine that came out on the month you were born.
Of course, I was born in February. That took me a second. Oh my God, Chris, that's amazing. Thank you. Good, you're so much more thoughtful than me.
It's a wee sentimental thing. I know you're probably not. It's going to be like the WWF magazine back then was so in character. So it'll probably be more of a buzz to read through it than like for like behind the scenes reasons. But it's more for the fact that it was from your birth month, you know.
That's amazing, dude. Oh my God, Buddy Rose. CDs and cassettes on sale. Oh my God, this is amazing. The thing to get a subscription still attached on the inside. Like the wee tear out thing for a subscription. I might actually just send that away. World Wrestling Federation, PO Box 6789, Stamford, Connecticut. You can literally still say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to subscribe and see what happens. Oh my God, Chris, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Wow.
Okay, so the next thing in the box is packaged the exact same way. So feel around for some more tissue paper.
Okay, still not looking. Still not looking. Aha!
Here is where our minds meet, my friend.
Christopher Moffat. It's an issue of Power Slam, but you've given me issue number 82, and it's got my boy Stone Cold Steve Austin in front. Sellout. Steve Austin joins forces with McMahon. This is the WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, the thought process behind this was your favourite wrestling piece of journalism with your favourite wrestler of all time on the cover. That was that thought process, wasn't it?
WWFE buys WCW. How will this affect sports entertainment? This is a historic issue because it's covering the acquisition of WCW.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, and now I finally have 2 copies of Power Slam in my house now because I have the one that Kane signed and also Kane's on the title cover of this, and I've got the one that you've given me now. That's amazing.
I thought you'd appreciate a Power Slam because we talk about it because like the stuff with like Inside the Ropes magazine and that sort of thing. I thought like Power Slam is like the OG, you know.
Absolutely, and that was my logic as well. And this is so important because it's covering the death of WCW. And Chris, did you know that it has a review of WWF Hardcore in it?
No, I didn't. But that's
the video that we talked about in like episode 1 or 2.
Taz in the car park.
Yeah, Taz and Buchanan Galleries. Oh my God, this is amazing. Right, I'm going to have to pop this down because otherwise I'm going to keep reading it and looking at it.
Okay, next thing I want you to pull out is no protection whatsoever. There's no cover over it or anything.
Well, there's a fabricated thing I'm feeling.
Right, not the fabricated thing, the other thing.
So there's another thing, but that's got tissue paper over it.
I take the other thing out, not leave the fabricated bit to the end.
Okay, right. Okay, this is in tissue paper.
Oh yeah,
it's got a bookish feel to it. Oh, it's the Justin Roberts book. Yes, the best seat in the house, which I've been wanting to get and wanting to read for a long time. So thank you so much.
This is the thing that never showed up for ages and ages, because I couldn't find one that was in like a brand new copy. So my thought, so I've got my copy sitting here in the bookshelf. So I was just going to send you mine if it didn't come in time.
Really? Oh my God!
No, it came yesterday. That's in as good condition as it's going to be. Really.
Really? It feels as good as new. That's amazing.
And I just remember saying like when we started the podcast, you were talking about like wrestling journalism. And that was like one of your favorite, like one of your like thankful segments about books and that sort of thing. And I said, "Have you read the Justin Roberts one?" And you said no. And at that moment, I said, "For a birthday or Christmas, I'll get him the Justin Roberts one because I know you'll love it."
Oh, thanks, mate. This is already too much. You've already outdone me, and I feel guilty now.
Listen, you got me a freaking Christmas jumper. Don't be daft.
I've got Scotty 2 Hotty in my breast pocket of my shirt now, so he's my wee mascot. That's incredible. Right, so there's one more thing. I'm still not looking, but I think it's the fabricy thing.
Yeah, the fabric thing. That's it.
Right. Okay, this is it.
This is like
item of clothing, I think. Yeah. Let's see what have we got here. Oh my God, that's amazing.
I know it's slightly random. Yeah. However,
he's a friend of our show.
He's a friend of the show. That was the thought process behind that. Get someone who's done the show.
Mate, that's gorgeous. I'll need to put that on. Not right now in front of the
I
camera.
know.
Cheeky.
It's a good t-shirt though, isn't it? It's a good design and it looks really cool. I was going to get you like a modern day t-shirt like Bailey or something like that, but I thought that one looked different. I don't think you've got a Foley
This is
one.
so cool. I'm going to make you a promise now, Chris. See when the world opens up and we can go to a wrestling show together.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this t-shirt.
Now, I also got some a revelation for you. I didn't know what size to get you, right? So I've gone with a large, right?
Yep.
Again, because you're tall, and I thought I would get myself a large, and we're quite similar. However, I was so unsure that I Instagram messaged your lovely wife.
Oh, I see.
And I was like, Kate, what size does Glenn wear? And she said a medium, and I totally went behind her back and went a large anyway. I don't know why I bothered to text.
Well, I'm sure it's going to fit absolutely fine. It really just depends on where the t-shirt comes from.
Yeah, and kind of like, so basically so when I ordered that one, I got a new Undertaker t-shirt because it was on sale for £9 that says Mark Calloway on it, and I'm wearing it now. Nice. And that one's a large as well, just to kind of gauge the size, and that one fits me perfect. So I thought, okay, that'll be fine. It should fit you fine. I hope anyway. If not, I can get you another one.
No, don't be daft. I'm sure it's going to fit perfectly, and I'm now just appreciating. Chris, thank you so much. That is so kind of you. The Power Slam logo was slightly different in 01.
It was, wasn't it? It was weird. But these are all very, very thoughtful gifts. So thank you very much.
Are you disappointed?
Am I disappointed?
Are we gonna have Scotty and Maven wrestle each other one day? Like
Scotty and Maven will meet one day, ladies and gents, on this show.
That's excellent.
No, I love them all, and in future, there was a wee bit of stress behind this because of the packaging and stuff like that. So in future, we'll get each other a gift. But since this is the first one, this is the best way to do it. So thank you very much for all this stuff.
Thank you. I'm gonna shut off the video now. But thank you very much. Let's hit stop on that. That was 20 minutes that ran for on my camera. I don't know how easy it'll be for me to send you that, but I'll try my best.
Oh yeah, well, there's ways to do it. You can always upload to YouTube, keep it private, and just send me the link, and I can do that.
I'll do that.
Yeah,
mate, that was something else. Thank you so much.
Do you like them?
So, I'm really quite touched by all of this.
No, I love all this stuff. I love Maven the best, I think.
Yes. That was the last thing to come. That was the thing that was supposed to come today, but it came early.
Right, okay, excellent. Lovely. I love how it's just like part of the like actual AEW shot. Like he's got the microphone and he's still got the kind of facial expression on. He's just got a Santa hat on.
Yeah. I'm just a bit miffed about the punctuation. I felt like writing into them, but
yeah. Oh, I love my Christmas jumper. I'm going to wear that Christmas Day.
Yes.
There we go. Right. Well, before we wrap things up, we need to just do a few housekeeping things for the Christmas special. We need to talk about wrestling at Christmas time. We need to talk about. I've got a few questions for you as well.
Good.
First question would be, what was your favorite as a child? Right. What was your favorite wrestling themed Christmas gift from Santa?
So there was a few. So if I can go for a few, that'd be cool. There's one that's quite sentimental to me, which is I got Christmas 01, all right? And that was my last Christmas with my family before my parents divorced. And for the record, folks, I had a very happy childhood. I was never unloved, and if anything, the love just increased after my parents made the right decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, when you're a child, we had that kind of nuclear family thing going on, and so it felt like that last sort of childhood innocence Christmas. And in my stocking from Santa, I had I couldn't even tell you what series it is, but it's a Triple H figure. And it prior to that, the only Triple H I had was like it was before they started doing the good scans of the faces, and it was just he looked like Edge and Shawn Michaels had a child. This figure, and it was Triple H in the sort of 99 DX era was the one that I had before.
Right.
So this was the first Triple H figure I had that looked like Triple H. And then, of course, a month later, he returns at Madison Square Garden, and I was sitting at Robert's house, where which is across the road from where I live now, watching that for the first time, and I felt like I could recreate that moment because I had a Triple H figure which looked just like he did when he returned. Same. And so that's special to me. The SmackDown Know Your Role video game on PS1, the previous year, I think I got that. It means a lot to me too. I think the one that I was most excited for growing up, and I begged and pleaded for, was Christmas 2000, and it was a foam WWF title.
Okay.
And it was like the one that got repackaged a lot. This one had been out for many years and still had like the Block logo on it, even though it came in scratch logo packaging.
Totally.
And I worshipped it, and I remember having it and holding it as proud as Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was in his first reign at the time. It was around the time of Armageddon 2000. Yeah. So, and I just loved it, and I've just realized that this is 20 years ago now.
Crazy, right?
But that to me isn't just a Christmas present that was wrestling related, but it was kind of that item is a symbol, I think, of that kind of cliched but lovely kind of childhood Christmas that a lot of us, if we're lucky enough to hold on to in our memories. And there were other things in years to come. I think well into my teens, I would get the most recent video game or whatever it would be. But those are the ones that really, really stick out. What about you?
When you said video games, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth jumped right off the page at me. I just loved getting that. I got that the same day as my cousin got it on Christmas Day, so we both started playing it at the same time and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. And it's just like figures that I'd asked for and things like that. You know what I mean? Like that you'd a lot of classic superstars and that sort of thing. I really wanted different Hardy Boys and that sort of thing. Yeah. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head that was like this one item. But SmackDown Shut Your Mouth was a big thing. Like my replica was like a birthday present, and all these other good figures were like birthday presents and that sort of thing. So in terms of Christmas, I can't really remember this particular item, but I was very, very lucky with all the stuff I got. I would always get, like, if I wanted something so badly, there was a very good chance I'd get it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, spoiled rotten as usual. But yeah, I should say, favourite Christmas present, my Undertaker Christmas sweater that I was just given to by my good close personal friend Glenn. Okay, so what about wrestling at Christmas time? Any fun memories from watching wrestling around Christmas in terms of events or moments or anything like that? Anything that comes to mind?
I mean, in terms of stuff that's Christmas themed, I think one of the first things that comes to mind is that kind of much replayed Attitude Era clip of Austin stunning Santa.
Right. It's so overplayed, isn't it?
It is so overplayed, but also in terms of stuff that happened around Christmas, I've got two kind of things that come to mind, like Armageddon Hell in a Cell. Being a big deal, and also did Jeff Hardy not win the title at Armageddon 08? Is that right?
He did, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, so those two kind of are quite dear to my heart. But more recently, I can't think it was 2013 or 2014, they did this whole thing where Mick Foley was Santa and he got run over. And it was this...
maybe 2012. I've wrote that down. Alberto Del Rio runs over Santa, I've written down here. And then John Cena does this backstage promo and he's like trying to rally the troops to go against Del Rio. And he just screams, "For Santa!"
Oh, dear. I also think it's worth also acknowledging that at one point in his career, Glenn Jacobs was in Memphis, in Jerry Lawler's Memphis territory as the Christmas creature, and he wore a green jumpsuit covered in baubles.
I really hope that was just his gimmick, and that was like also in like April he wore that. It wasn't just December.
Yeah.
When I think of Christmas time at wrestling, I think of two things: Armageddon and TLC. Always, like, obviously those were the recurring pay-per-views and that sort of thing. Still to this day with TLC. I think of, Armageddon 05 with Orton and Taker, and then of course Armageddon 08 with Jeff Hardy winning the title. And I had Armageddon 06 on DVD, and I remember watching that show, and it was meant to be a tag title match between Regal and Dave Taylor versus London and Kendrick, I think.
Okay.
Right? I think. That was maybe the tag title match. And Teddy Long comes out and says, "Hold on a second there, player. Because it's Christmas time, I'm going to give everybody a Christmas present." Brings out Eminem and brings out the Hardy Boys and now says it's going to be a Fatal 4-Way tag team ladder match. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, imagine just making that match out of nowhere and not advertising it. So I just and that was the match that Joey Mercury lost his face. Remember?
Yeah, that was the horrible, gruesome injury. I mean, that's a spot which they'd done before with Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys. And do you remember there was actually a few months later they were going to do that exact match again as a rematch, but then they scrapped it and changed it before the pay-per-view.
Really?
I think it was later on that year. Maybe it was the Great American Bash 06. I don't know. But I remember that match. I remember watching the replay and seeing the image of Joey Mercury's face afterwards. Is really
that was like the talk of the playground that day when you went in on a Monday. Like, everybody was like, maybe not that Monday, but not long after it, people were like, "Did you see that wrestler getting like busted open and stuff like that?" Like, it looked brutal, and it was one of the first moments as a youngster that I was like, "How violent wrestling can be." You know what I mean? Like, everything before that had been staged really well, whether it be like Mick Foley or Jeff Hardy or whatever. But the fact this was like a gruesome, bloody injury that you knew wasn't fake, if you will, you know. I remember that standing out big time. So I had that one. That was a good Armageddon. And then, of course, TLC. Always good memories with TLC. Always think it's a good thing. I always like watching TLC live these days with like the Christmas tree on, and you know, just it's like the Christmas pay-per-view. So I always enjoy watching TLC. And of course, Tribute to the Troops is also another Christmas thing. I used to love the fact that Tribute to the Troops used to be on like on the 23rd of December on Sky Sports. It used to be on like an hour. And it would just be, obviously, the Tribute to the Troops is just essentially a house show. But I just used to love how they do it. And I know they did it this year in the Thunderdome, which made no sense. But I like the fact that they always used to go to the camps and stuff. I know it was extremely dangerous, but it made it look really different. And
I enjoyed the different aesthetic. I mean, you kind of, as the kind of the person with my principles now and my politics now, I wish there wasn't a war zone for them to go to. But you have to admire the courage of the whole thing, don't you?
Totally.
And I know they still do it, and they do it in the States because there's not really that much. You know, it's not like it was when they first started, when America was involved in 2 wars. But the aesthetic was always cool. I thought, to see the military base out in the Middle East, and you know, all these soldiers and camo and the bursting hot daylight, and they were never too far away from, you know, danger. And there was incidents where there was gunfire at one point before they started the show. I also used to enjoy how you could then use the Tribute to the Troops arena on the video games that they put in.
I was like about to say that. Like, I loved how you could unlock that arena.
And it's really cool. And Tribute to the Troops is the only time we got something close to what is definitely a dream match that people don't often talk about, and that is John Cena versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because Cena takes a stunner at Tribute to the Troops. And wasn't Austin wearing a Santa outfit when he did that?
Yes. And obviously, I mean, it was like 2003, wasn't it? So Cena was still very much in the come-up. It wasn't as if it was like WWE champion John Cena. But it was still cool to see.
Still cool. Absolutely. I feel the same way like when I watch WrestleMania 20 and Randy Orton and The Rock have a few moments, and I'm just thinking, imagine Randy Orton and The Rock both in their prime. You know what I mean? That would have been awesome.
Would have been amazing, yeah. So yeah, there's just some memories of wrestling at Christmas time. What about, we're going back to putting ourselves over here. I'd noted these questions down for the podcast. Favourite moments from TWC in 2020? Wrestling Connection, of course.
There's a few. I mentioned one at the beginning, and that was the whole thing with Paul Heyman. That was a highlight. Yep. I still remember this was kind of like in the summer, and it was very warm outside. And I remember walking my dog and seeing that you'd messaged me about something and kind of dismissing it because I had my hands full. I think I had like a bag of poo in one hand, a phone in the other, and then trying to hold onto the dog around my arm or something like that. So, and then just the kind of the hilarity of all that, and the fact that that Paul Heyman tweeted that and then didn't tweet for another 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, if you went on Paul Heyman's Twitter, the most recent tweet was him endorsing, putting us over, laughing at me. And so if you want to go back to whatever episode that was, folks, I would recommend it. It is a fun story about the time I met Paul Heyman and the embarrassment that ensued. So that was a really cool moment. I would also say the inception of our podcast, that memory of us in town, not just because it was the last time I did something like that for a long time, but it was a nice memory. And there's a lesson for me there that can be applied to all of life, and that is never dismiss like stuff that, you know, don't be a dismissive person, really, and don't rule stuff out, because you never know what might prosper into something that's quite special. And that's what this has been for me. And I kind of hope that we'll be doing another Christmas special this time next year, you know?
Totally. In terms of my favourite moments, I loved all the cameos. I love all the meet wrestlers, whether it's me telling it or you telling it. I love the fact we can just like, it doesn't matter about time. It's just like recalling these amazing moments in our fandom. You know what I mean? And talking about meeting wrestlers. And
there's more to come.
There's more to come. And around like sort of June, July sort of time, where I would, so again, I've mentioned that a few times because of lockdown, that sort of thing. What I've been doing a lot is just been going walks, like just around the neighbourhood, around the block or whatever, just to kind of stay active, and especially when it was like full on lockdown, you know. just to kind of keep the mind active and that sort of thing and get a bit of exercise. And in the summertime, I just loved going my walks and listening to the podcast. So what I would do, especially early on, I don't do it so much now, maybe I should, but I would always listen back to the episodes once they were out. And I would always do it on my walks when I was walking around in the nice summertime air and just feeling so like, it was a weird thing because like there was no work for me to do. I was off work for so long in the summer. I'm very, very, very grateful I'm back now and just finished again for Christmas. But there was so long I just wasn't working at all. And literally the only thing that I had to think about, to worry about, to work on, really, I mean, there was other things, wee projects here and there, but in terms of a consistent thing was the podcast. So the fact of like, I was looking forward to go on my walk so I could listen to the new episode just to see what I need to improve on, what we need to do audio-wise, editing-wise, does this bit work, that sort of thing. I just love doing that, going for my walks in the nice sort of summer warm air and listening back to the podcast. That's a sort of sentimental memory, other than the cameos and that sort of thing. So yeah, I've had such a great time on the show this year, and I'm looking forward to what 2021 brings. It's going to be even better, ladies and gents. Watch this space. And the last thing I had was have you got like a favourite episode that you could recommend the folks to listen to if they're looking for stuff to listen to before Christmas? Any fun or favourite episodes of the Wrestling Connection that stand out in your mind?
I love the one where you talk about meeting Piper, and I love the one where you talk about meeting Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash one's meant, isn't it?
The Kevin Nash one is probably, it might be my favourite. I'm not sure. I'm really proud of like the first episode after the pilot, I think it is, when we're talking about the hardcore one, because even though we're still kind of ironing out creases and there's issues and whatever, that was the one that kind of, when I listened back to it, I thought, oh my God, even if like 5 people listen to this, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what it is. I mean, not in an egotistical way, but proud of the whole product, of the way that you cut it together, and the contribution that I made. And I want to take a moment to, on record, and damn you if you edit this out, Chris Moffat.
Oh, geez.
But folks, if you are one of our listeners, and we do, I'm really proud to say that we have people that we don't know, that we've never met, who listen to this
every week
on a weekly basis, and that means so much to us. And I hope that if that's you, that like, if even a small way you've enjoyed it in what has undoubtedly been a difficult year for us all, then that's mind blowing. But the thing is, with this podcast, the idea came from Chris to do this. The name came from Chris. The ginger hair did not come from Chris, but he's the hair has been corrected on the artwork. All the editing, all the cutting, and everything came from Chris. The jingles came from my wife. Like, I've done very little apart from show up and talk. So when the way I liken to it is this, when Bruce and Conrad do their hugely successful podcast, apparently that's the way that Bruce, just his contribution is his wisdom, and Conrad does all of the work. And so it's like that, except I don't have the wisdom, and I'm not like the VIP.
Don't have any wisdom.
But my point is that all the hard work for this podcast has come from Chris, and Chris cut together an episode when I couldn't record one, back when I was moving at the end of the summer, just there. So I want to say to you, Chris, a huge thank you for this, because I alluded to it in my Christmas card, which you read on the show today. And, I think I would have been a very kind of lost, especially during the height of lockdown, without having this to look forward to. And I think the one thing that I forgot to say on that card, on top of thanking you for your friendship and for being such a kind person, and for the podcast, is all the work that you put into the podcast, all the editing that you do, and that you've been so consistent with it, despite the fact that you are back at work, you have a family, you have a life, you have friends, you have other things that you want to do, but you still devote time to this. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. And I genuinely mean it when I say that I'm so excited for society reopening, because I think that gives us more possibilities as podcasts, because we can make more wrestling memories together and then talk about them, and that excites me.
Totally. Well, thank you for that. The reason that I stay so consistent with it as well is because I enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's not a chore. It's something that I really look forward to doing. It's a hobby. I've always wanted like a weekly wrestling podcast, so now we're doing it, and it's the best possible way it can be. We just need to get some more listeners, and we'll do that in 2021. Because I feel like I don't want to say we're brilliant and all that sort of stuff, but I think it's a podcast that a lot of people can relate to. You know what I mean? So I hope that we can maybe grow our listenership a wee bit in the new year. I'm looking through the episodes here and trying to pick a favourite one. I don't have a favourite one. I loved the Heyman episode. I loved the Q&A one we did where we answered all the questions. I loved the one where, let's see, when we sang all the wrestling theme songs, we read the lyrics out. That was funny. Just everything. The wrestling checklist was fun. There's so much. Oh, your story about meeting Bailey was good. Scottish Otis. Where do you start with that? The wrestling figure episode's a great one. Yeah, I don't know. I love them all, and they're all different in their own way, which is good. We're lucky enough to have the listeners who have left wee reviews on iTunes for us and have messaged us privately and that sort of thing. But we'll do more about all this sappiness and putting ourselves over next week when we look back and we say what we are thankful for in wrestling for the year of 2020. So tune in then. Thank you for listening to our Christmas special. I know it wasn't particularly festive for you. It was very festive for us because we got gifts. So thank you for my gifts. Thank you very much. That's the best. And hopefully people enjoy the video in this episode. We can get lovely feedback on this too. And we'll be back next week for another installment with our New Year special of the Wrestling Connection. So I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone has a lovely Christmas if you're celebrating it.
Have a great Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. Enjoy it. We'll see you before the year is out.
Thanks so much. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.